The sell-off continues this afternoon, accelerating, in fact, as we head towards the close. Welcome back to the final hour of trading. Yeah, we're approaching 3%, almost 2.7 right now for the S&P. Pretty negative afternoon here, led by all of the big names. Guys, let's get into the last hour of trading here. Going to be an interesting one.
It is, and I actually, yeah, welcome to the fastest 30 minutes on television, on YouTube, and it's not 30, it's 60 minutes. So let's get ready to rock and roll here. I know you're getting ready to already hit something.
No. Well,
what do you got going on? I mean, I could talk about Neo here.
This is what I was going to do. I was going to flush.
Oh, there you go.
Just in general, the market down the toilet today.
All right, that's it. Okay, all right, yeah, that's good. Okay, so, yeah, anyways, good one. The market is going down, and I can do the same thing. We'll punch it out. Hopefully your account's not getting punched out, and then we'll also do a nice little arrow to the downside if I can find it. There it is. I like this one. You go, there it is. Okay, so the market continues to its slide today. We are off the very bottoms, but I told you that we'd be holding this Neo trade all day, and that's what we're going to do. We're holding one last piece right now. Still that $1.50 in the money, man. And I mean, we have this top tick right there all day, and you guys saw me do that on the early show, and then we were getting out VWAP, getting out lower, getting out the lows of the day there, and then I said, like, when we've seen the market do this, especially when we broke through 15,000 on NASDAQ, like, for me, that was a no-brainer trade to hold something. I picked Neo. I mean, if you held anything, maybe you'd even have a bigger winner than NIO. But for a $34 stock, I'll take this $1.50 right now. Other names, man, like AMD cracked below 100. I don't know where it is now, back to 120. So again, on the battle back, that only got to 99.51. So we'll use 99.51 as some bottoms. Maybe that might come into play tomorrow again. But yeah, a lot of these names, Neil, getting cracked right now, like the Detroit Lions, you're going to get tonight.
Yeah, well, like we said, they don't stand a chance. Green Bay's going to win pretty easy.
Oh, I don't like that kind of talk. They don't stand a chance.
Well, I mean, it's just true.
Oh, man, I'm going to feel even, okay.
And the truth of the matter is, and I was just saying this in the chat, or rather, Sterling was mentioning in the chat, hey, Neil, because something him and I had talked about, one of our viewers, in DM a little bit was, on days like today, preserve capital. You don't have to overtrade. You got to be focused. If you have shorts on like the Virgin Galactic short off 26, which I thank everybody in the community for reminding me about the bloody 26 level we talked about last week, because when it came up, I didn't necessarily have it on the radar, but once it started going in the money, like thankfully I actually added up there when I got there because I liked it so much. Once the market started cracking the lows, it was just like, hold on. Like, there's nothing to do except to hang on to the short. So I'm still sitting in the last of these shares, and there's not been a reason to get out of it. I'm still in the Foot Locker position. That's not really going that far against, or in the money or against me, but there just hasn't been any reason for me to get out. Vivek is like, Sean and Neil, face paint bet. No, we both think Green Bay's winning tonight. So
face paint bet. All these guys want us to paint our faces.
It's not happening because we both think what's going to happen is going to happen.
How about this? We'll do it. We'll do a bet when they're both in the Super Bowl. Right? I mean, that's going to be
that would be rather
Packers.
Nice.
I don't think Packers will get there. You guys might have a chance.
But there's one thing you guys should all be doing today. If you're not trading, you can see the positions that we have on, and we're flat at the end of the day, looking for relative strength. Now, I had noted earlier that at the time Oracle was strong. Even that got cracked. So I know that down 1%. But I was looking at Caesars, a name that we talked about last week. Give me a break, Caesars. Caesars to me should be a New York stock,
what is it
but
at right now?
It's a NASDAQ stock.
103.
This is getting down to that 100 level. Like you look for the areas of, I guess, recent support, and you look at what happened on my 15-minute chart here, and this is Caesars. It's got a nice bottom that if you can hold this level. I know it never actually got to 100 unless you're looking at pre-market action here today. Like it's just quite little tiny dips down, but it's holding a higher low, and that's a pretty decent sign of relative strength. Anything up on the session, anything which is holding a higher low, resisting breaking down, that is at or not as bad as the overall market. Caesars is basically trading with the market and not necessarily on its lows right now, when the market's on its lows. That's a little bit of relative strength. I still like Oracle because I think it's held up well. We did a video about like stocks to buy on a dip, and oddly enough, I mean, I talked about Danaher, the healthcare company, and I'm only chuckling
because it's down like 40% now.
No, because it's basically not like I was getting some pie in the sky prices I would like to dip by.
Right,
it's down 0.5%.
Yeah,
like it's actually too strong. So it's not even, like it just can't even fall. So you can throw that one out the window because it's essentially
that was your name to buy in weakness, but it's just not going
It's just not even giving you a chance to go down, which makes it fantastic, and I still want to pick it up anyways because it refuses to fall.
Right? Makes sense.
Little therapeutics company just popping up here. We're not just popping up, but did earlier this afternoon. Enterix Therapeutics, which is ETTX, big mover this afternoon on volume as well. Heads up, just came back to 350 here, a decent level, up 15%, guys.
ETXX. Okay, we'll have a look at
go.
ETXX. Baba, we tried it. So we're still positive on every stock today, but we almost slipped up there on Baba, but we were able to save the day a little bit. Oh, it's back up to 114 there, or sorry, 50.14. We tested, so we were long Baba here and out, man, and we let it fall all the way to test that 150 level. It tested it, and then we got out at 149.75. All right, it's the Mr. Wicken Show. What's up, bud?
I apologize for interrupting, but this is worth it, I promise. I just saw Peloton, guys, breaking back through 100 even, which was support here in the pre-market. Still down 3%, but a bit of a negative note from UBS this morning on Peloton. We didn't touch on this morning if you joined us. UBS basically saying that their apparel business is not a tangible subscriber growth driver for Peloton. So has been negative today, but trying to hold 100 even.
Peloton. Yeah, I'm obviously think it's going to drive subscriber growth. I mean, the problem with my thing with Peloton is that everybody that's in Peloton right now, obviously they're paying up for premium products or what they believe to be anyways. And so I think that they're probably already like Lulu buyers and things like that. So I'm not sure, unless Peloton, and again, I don't know the quality of their clothing line, but yeah, I would probably agree that, they should probably stick with equipment because it's such a saturated business. I mean, that would be my whole thing. Under Armour tried to compete with the likes of Nike
Get a partnership
and Lulu. Yeah, something like that, like a rights deal or something. So we'll wait to see what happens with Peloton, but I tend to agree. They're only down that 3%. So if you did want a growth name here, Peloton is going to be one of those names where today you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like 7 or 8 straight red days after making this monster move back up. So you're getting into a spot right now. And like Neil said, I mean, if we're going to look at charts, there's so many to look at. But if you want to buy in something that you believe in, if you do, Peloton coming right back down to this area. Remember, 80 is probably the washout bottom. So if you go long 95, it's not a horrible risk back to the 50 period, which is 110.
I just wanted to come to this EDSA a little bit here because this was it was a fantastic short off of the open. I can't say anything bad about it. I then shorted a pop here off of VWAP. It looked like this was just a golden entry here, and it looked absolutely fantastic getting a chance at not just at VWAP, but you got a pre-market low at 850. It had some trouble cracking through that 850 level. We got out some shares at the bottom there, and then it looked like all systems go. Then I got wicked out when it made this move up and then slam right back down. And then look how strong this has been. It actually puts in a bit of a halt. One halt to the upside. It's the only halt it had when it took out the high of the day. And now it's holding above this breakout price. It's been like 920 or so, holding VWAP. This is a candidate for, I don't know that any stock necessarily is going to do that parabolic move into the close or 4 p.m. kind of nonsense. But if you had to pick an early leader, that would be that EDSA. First things first, it has to hold up. It's now stair-stepped, had a bit of a head and shoulders on the 1 minute here. It's got to hold up this, 965 level for any of that kind of nonsense to come true. I do want to talk a bit about Tesla here. Now I'll never say Tesla.
You're screwed.
It's in my head now.
Yeah.
It's like the same thing with Maureen and Marin, whatever I was supposed to.
I think it's Marin.
Marin, I don't know. I don't even remember what the heck I was calling it, but who cares?
Yep.
Tesla, 720 is held up pretty nicely, and I understand. I know I said this morning, 720 is where I see the support. That's where I think you buy it in front. I prefer that to the 7.25. But what ended up happening at the open was, the market still looked weak and it just spiked right into resistance at that 740 level. So I ended up shorting Tesla and doing nothing else. Like that dip buy to me was more panic at the open, catching the dips. And when that didn't come in, I was no longer looking to buy at those bottoms. Like it's a different beast buying at that level at 310 on Monday when we just had the biggest down day that we've seen in recent memory. So bottom picking is a little bit of a different story. Like that capitulation 930 buy where you get that screaming upside, like that's just a different beast. Your risk to reward is much greater. Like, if you catch that one at the open, you might get a $10, $15, $20 winner. Now, if you take a 720 on Tesla, like, I don't know, you're trying to get a couple of bucks in the last 45 minutes. We think the market's strong enough to do one of those massive relief rallies. Are we getting back above 15,000?
Massive.
Because that's the only way you're seeing 740s if we're cracking that 15,000, which I think could do it. I'd rather sit in the short. I have zero reason to get out of that Virgin Galactic trade. I can't think of any. I should have gotten out if I did this. I stared at it. I was contemplating the gift horse in IronNet all day long. And I said at the end of the show,
Those damn gift horses.
I said at the end of the morning show,
you.
if you got a short, just hold on to it. Well, IronNet is a different story. It is a squeeze, low float name. I should have been perfectly happy taking 28 bucks out, 28, taking $2.50, $3 out of the trade. I let it spike all the way up. It is not broken the high where I got short twice, which is this 31.70, but it feels like it's just a matter of time. And if we come down to VWAP, I'll bank $1, $1.50, because I'm not sure I'm going to get anything more than that. So this is me capitulating on IronNet. My greed definitely got the best of me.
So I couldn't interrupt there, but we do have a new position alert here, and it's going to be Facebook. It's 50 cents in the money. So I just think if anything's going to rally, it's going to be Facebook. Well, I mean, it could be anything. I don't know, but barring any specific news, if you like the market, I think Facebook needs to be bought right here. We've already dipped down to 350, rejected it pretty hard, and now you're back off to the races here with Facebook, 50 cents now in the money and looking to break back out here. So again, oh man, like honestly, did Arun have these problems? Like,
Nope.
What is going on?
Nope.
I can't even, you know
Nope.
what? See a 15-minute chart. I don't, they're investigating my charts, but I do have e-signal charts, so I am looking at those as well, which is helping me here. But as you can see, just looking here at the 3-minute chart then, since I can't get it to work on my own system here, this is the level of concern for me, 352. So I thought I'd take it long here, see if we can get it. You've just dropped 10 bucks on Facebook, okay? Like, whatever. If JP Morgan is going to call this one like a technical break and there's actually physically nothing wrong with the market as far as they're concerned, other than technical breaks, then I'm going to take strong stocks and I'm going to take them to the moon. So we're going to take Facebook right now. I like Facebook, man. I can't believe we're back down here to 350. The last buy I had was at 350, so you guys can get in. I mean, I'm not rebuying anything now. I think the dip is possibly in for further downside, but we're going to go short NEO. We're going to go long my Facebook here. And look, man, I'm just going to hold it back to 350. We'll average in a little bit here. And if we take a bath on this in the close, we take a bath. But I like Facebook right here. We're 50 cents in the money now, and we'll see where it goes. But I think we take out 352. My target for this is like if I can get like a 352.50, something like that, we'll take it out. And if it continues to go, great. But that's going to be my target right here for Facebook.
There you go. And I see you guys asking about a microvast here, so I'll pull up MVST. Look, it just turned away after it tried to break $10, and there's something that stands out about that level for me. The volume is, I'll say, decent. It's only done a couple of million shares, which is nothing too crazy here. But at the end of the day, I do feel like if this had turned around even closer to like 1040, 1050, maybe it'd be stronger reason, maybe jump out of some of these some of the longs, I would say. If you're still in it, you always look for something which is going to be screaming, and it just absolutely, and this isn't even that big of a pullback. It's only 20 to 30 pennies, but it was on large volume. However, immediately got bought. I just wish the volume was much better. There's so much it's trading a little bit more than this. And when looking at strong stocks, you can't talk about strong names without looking at Lucid, which now has a triple top just shy of $24. I tried shorting off the high, got wicked out at the top, and then it dropped $1, and then only to come right back in. This is in the context of the market just crapping all over itself, right? Like Lucid makes a double top, rejects it, and falls $1, and then rallies to break that high, right? So, I mean, Lucid's been ridiculously strong. You pull up the daily chart, which is going to show you a bit of a nice story here, and it's nowhere near what I think. I mean, it was just breaking through like 23, which is a big level, and it's nowhere really near that 25, which is the next stop to the upside. So there's juice to go. I mean, the volume has been pretty solid since it took that high. The failed breakout at 23.5, it's been holding up pretty well. So if it takes out 24, this could really start to go. Now I know 23.90 is the current high. I'd much prefer a 24. We're not there yet. We are running out of time for a high break. Ideally, you wouldn't want the market to still be falling to the downside, but Lucid's shown it's strong enough, and as long as the volume is going to maintain the current levels, I like a 24 break on Lucid. We have 40 minutes or so before I would take that trade and throw it out the window. I usually don't like those breakouts past 350, but we got time to let this one run, and there's not too many stocks that have shown that level of strength. And you got to stick to those. If you're going to try to find those longs, either you find a great bottom pick or you get a stock that's showing the relative strength. Lucid is definitely the latter.
Yeah, good one. Good look there on Lucid for sure. Yeah, we're talking about finding something that was actually strong for the day, and that might be hard to do. So Lucid's a good one. Okay, so Neo here on a 1 minute chart. I'm going to use this as my out, man, because we're already long Facebook right now, so I don't want to hold this. Normally, I said that I would hold this forever, but I think we're doing pretty good. $1.53 here on a $34 name, and that trades pretty calmly here today. It's been all the way to the downside. We're starting to kind of make higher lows here a little bit. It's only a 1 minute chart, so this is a small data sample, but up. So if we do take this out here, 34.90, we will we are going to cover. So I have a stop order in there to cover that trade. Facebook is still bouncing around, man. I mean, this was up to 351.50. Where's my price? 93. So we did have a screamer on there, but it stopped. So now we'll wait. Again, my target's going to be up here somewhere. You'll hear me throw out some bangs there if that does come in. Someone asking on the chat, you must be joining us for the first time, which is great. Welcome. Yeah, Neil and I are flat at the end of every single day, right? So people asking, why am I not buying dips into tomorrow? I would be, and I think that's a decent spot. I mean, I love Facebook for tomorrow, 100%. Like if Facebook breaks below 350 tomorrow, I'd be 100% surprised. But let's see where we go from here the rest of the day. Neil and I are flat at 4 o'clock. We actually trading physical equities, so there's no chance for us to stay live here, and we have to be out. And if we're not out, then you have a couple minutes. But the idea is that we're not able to hold anything overnight. These are not options. These are not CFDs. Like when we're actually showing you here that I'm long Facebook 350.93, like I'm physically holding that stock now at that price. So we do have direct market data and access, so we will be able to get out on any prices we want as long as they go through the market, and then we can choose our gateway as well. So that's a little talk on what we have there, and why we're not talking about holding things for tomorrow, because we simply can't do it, so it's not even on our radar.
Yeah, and on the theme of strong stocks, stronger than Lucid, as I finally get out of IronNet. So, I mean, it's not a losing trade, but I think giving up the $2.50 to get out when it almost break even there is just a bit of a pain in the butt that shouldn't have happened. But, wow, Dutch Brothers up 11%. Now, I know it had that flush on Friday. You guys were watching this. It absolutely tanked at the open, and it was a tricky trade to be in. I know, because I lost on the short at the open. It was just entirely too strong on that pop back up, because it flushed like 48 and then came right back in, and I tried to short this one on the way back up, and then just look, it broke the high. I let it go through the high. I tried to give it to like 53. It just kept on going there, and then only to come right back in. Now, if it gets anywhere close to, I think, that 50 level, which doesn't seem very likely now, although up 11%, is a pretty strong stock, I would be fading this one. Just how strongly it rejected this level here, and the bottom end of this range was 50 to 52, let's call it. I'd want to be shorting in front of that. 50 is the first one that comes in. The spread's much better than it was on Friday, although I'm still looking at 20 cents currently. So do be very, very careful when you are trading this name. As I look over, CRVS is trying to make a bit of a battle, but that feels like a fade after that fail break at the high of the day. Brendan?
Just noticing another new one from last week, guys. OfferPad trying to make a move here off of day lows, held this 1220, 1250 area a couple of times. So back towards VWAP here, recent high still 5% to the downside after a decent start to the day anyways for OPAD.
OfferPad, okay. I'm not too familiar with a lot of these companies. I still think that there's been a lot of companies that have come to market here as SPACs or recent IPOs that just are not of the highest quality. But one name that keeps on proving that theory wrong is Bros. Dutch Bros today holding up pretty well, up to $48 here today is Bros, and when this loads we could talk about it. Obviously we've talked about it a little bit, it's up 11%. So look at these bottoms though, you got to take these in consideration for tomorrow, because 45.50, how many times? I don't think we see that today, but you see that tomorrow, there's buyers here, man. 44.50 up to 45.50. So these are areas for me, areas of concern. So when we sit down here with our sticky note in the morning and we're looking at some key levels, like this is the kind of stuff that we look at, right? I mean, I talk about this all the time. People are always asking, where do you find this? Where do you find that? And you don't just look at a daily chart. I mean, it's going to show you nothing here because it just came out. So you got to look here and figure out what's going on. And then there's that break right there of 47. And on Thursday, man, I shorted this and got some nice wins on Bros, but also had to watch it go through 50 or 52 or 53, something like that. But here we go. So Bros, another name. Facebook is resisting this dip down in the market. As you can see, we are still, come on chart, we're still bouncing around pretty high upside here on Facebook. Facebook. It seems like we got a good price as you're starting to take out that level one more time, 351.50. So, hey, man, I mean, that's 60 cents. I'm debating taking it, just put a notch on my belt and put some, more profits in ye bag here. But honestly, like, I really think that if the market goes, this thing's off. So, I mean, I like Facebook. I think we should be buying it. And I am talking up my book a little bit because it is the most recent big cap name that I had. I've recently sold off Microsoft. I sold Apple at 152. I tweeted these all out. And I really do like Facebook. NEO continues to make moves to the downside despite Facebook moving upside. $1.80 now in the money on NIO. I mean, if this goes back here, I may just take this out, man. 34.65. My last out was 34.90 with only 40 minutes left. I mean, this is a big win. So, I mean, we'll have to see, but debating taking out NIO, guys.
Yeah, you start to look at, I'm looking at the daily chart to try to get an idea of, I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see on Virgin Galactic some of the levels that we're starting to get back into. Big level on Virgin Galactic previously was this 23.50 to 23.85 area. So there's a chance that 24 could go. I'm leaning into thinking 24 is probably going to hold up rather nicely.
Facebook,
New position alert. I did get into that EDSA. It's like the third time I have shorted it today. We'll see. It's 2 for 2, but I'm probably jinxing myself just by saying that. But I'm using 11 as my stop there on EDSA. Virgin Galactic, if it gets to 24, I think that could be. It's been support for so long that I feel like in this kind of a day, down 8% already at least $1.50 in the money. Check that a little bit more than that. I kind of feel like it's not going to go too much further than 24, especially with the market trying to make a little bit of a bottom here. It's trying, not necessarily getting there, but it is giving the old college try. That CVRS, which is one of the stronger, was one of the stronger names of today, did make a failed break, and I got me out of the last of my shares when it broke the high of the day and immediately rejected. It's now coming right back in, but look at how. It does this wick down and then immediately holds the opening, I guess the 8 o'clock, whatever you want to call it, the retail flush price or whatever it is. It's like 590 right here. It manages to hold that on a wick. It's now trying to put in a higher low of support. This is another one that has a chance to go, but if it breaks 590, I want to be short this name. You see a stock flush, liquidity vacuum through that price, and then just there's no chill on the stock between 590 and 550 on the way down, nor on the way up. So if it were to break 596 even, I feel like it could fall just as fast as it's gone up and then come down to that same price. And I'm willing to go either direction here. It just so happens we're heading to the downside on CRVS. So if we break 590, I want to be into this one to the downside. I did just get checked out of that. I guess it must be pretty strong. But I did just get checked out of that last entry into, sorry, I was going to say IronNet, but it wasn't IronNet. It was, what the heck is that stock again? It was EDSA.
Yeah.
Brendo, what's up, buddy?
It's getting exciting, guys. Cryptos heading back towards day lows right now. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum heading southbound in a hurry here. I just saw this HUT H just popped up on a volume scanner doing the same, trying to get back down to day lows, 13%. Coinbase, I noted, not as bad, obviously, but yeah. Ugly for crypto markets too.
Fantastic, guys. If we can get Brendan's screen on that big guy, that would be fantastic. Okay, so Facebook right now, guys. We'll do Canada. Nothing to do with Facebook, of course, but get out and vote if you have not done that yet. Today is voting day. Apparently, once every less than 2 years here in Canada. Apparently, we vote for a new prime minister, and we will see today if there is indeed going to be one that. Oh, Brendan said it actually going to take 4 days or something to figure that out. So
allegedly, that's
counting has never been harder in this country than it is now. As we'll be counting votes for more than 4 days, apparently. But we're only counting this one right now. We'll hit the cowbells. It's National Pizza Day. We're having a great pizza from General Assembly tonight. And you can see, man, big time winner here for Facebook. We talked about this. I said this was going to be the name that I like on any kind of a rally back. So we hit that, man, and we're long right down here, and it popped right back up. So my target is still going to be good to go, 352.80, somewhere around here. If we can get this trade, then that'd be fantastic. Normally I'd be waiting for longer, but I mean, I like this position. I just like Facebook. I think it's pretty strong, and we'll see what happens here into that. I mean, it's so much better than putting your money in Canopy or some of these weed stocks that are down 8 or 9 or 10% today, down 3.5. We'll check out on Microsoft quickly here. Wow, Mr. Softy, also another very, very high quality name. And again, I felt bad last week when we sold it at 398, something like that, and we were back up to 301, 302. We talked about this with the AMAT sale as well. And then now all of a sudden you're seeing that starting to pay a little bit of dividends dividends, just like Apple. We sold that off. I'm getting ready to buy back in. This is the first 5% dip, right, Brendan? I think in over, what is it, 10 months?
Officially. Yeah, no, this year, haven't had a 5% dip. So officially, that's for the S&P, obviously. That's just the S&P. Activision Blizzard, guys, just spiked down. Here's why. SEC investigating ATVI for workplace practice disclosures. Again, Wall Street Journal reporting that. So big dip here for ATVI.
Okay, look at Facebook just still going. Yeah, we were just talking that Apple's probably about 10% right now, down about 10% from its highs.
You know what? Actually, no, I'll say it exactly.
It's 157, right?
Yeah, it's exactly, because it's 141. We're pretty much exactly a 10% retracement on Apple, which to me that would be a go. That would be a go time. One that got close, but unless you were in there in the pre-market. And that's going to be Caesars. I don't think you were getting that 100 or anywhere close to that 100 level, but it got pretty darn close. I mean, that's one I kind of wish. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't have got it anyways. It doesn't matter. You had to have it in the morning. So even if you put something at 101 at lunchtime, there's no chance to get it. But I think I want to be buying Caesars in front of $100. Makes a heck of a lot of sense. I mean, if you want casino exposure, just think about something. And we've said this since last week, and then this morning again. Just something that doesn't have, you know, the issues with Macau. As good as sometimes buying ridiculous lows, and I'm looking at Las Vegas Sands, and yeah, I get it. That's appealing. We say it every single time. You look like an absolute genius if you catch a bottom on something like this, but I'd just rather let the dust settle on a Las Vegas Sands, as fantastic as that double bottom does look. And you know what? For a day trade, look at this daily chart. I'm just noticing this now on Las Vegas Sands for some reason. Can we look at 38.25 or 38.30? This looks like on Las Vegas Sands. That's a 1, 2, 3 out of the last 4 days. It's putting in the exact same high. Yeah, I'm ready to go long if that one breaks tomorrow. So like I'll write that one down. Like we'll go. I mean, 38. It looks like 38.30, so not 38.25. But Las Vegas Sands has a great multi-day level that could break.
I don't know, guys. We're going to slap some faces around here because Facebook happened way faster than I thought it would. I mean, what are we going to do? I want to ask you guys there in the chat. Am I going to sell this and we're going to fire off some hot dog cannons or what? Because like right now, Facebook is just right at that spot that I said I'd get out, and I just canceled my offer. I would have got filled there at 70 or whatever I was sitting at, literally at 70. We would have got filled there. So maybe it is time right now, wow, to get this out. But feeling good about that call, man. And we're getting right back into these levels. So I don't know. I don't know what to do here for Facebook still running upside. Unfortunately, here's a 3-minute chart. You do have the VWAP on a 3-minute back to 351.85. So that's not bad. I could put my stop there. But are we just not taking this out a little prematurely here? I mean, do we have a 354 in it for us here? Maybe we'll just hold Facebook and let the dice roll today. We have absolutely no negative names on the board today for myself, and I know Neil's been having a great day as well. So it's kind of funny because, you know, when the market's like this, I would have thought, for me, typically I'm very, very bullish, as you guys know, and the market today, very, very bearish. But if you could see what we did today, early, we protected our levels here on AMD. My charts will freeze at some point here, so don't worry about that. But you know, here we go. If I can zoom this back out, we bought early 100, out there $100.85, and then out again at 102. That's a $2 winner. Bought it again and double tapped the outs right there again, and then we haven't traded AMD since. So now we'll watch to see that one fall down. Alibaba, we took that for a ride early. Now it's back below 150. And if you wanted to see what this stock did, here it is, man. We double bottomed that one, 152, out 153.60. That was another $1.50 winner. We tried it again right here. So we tried to buy ahead of 150 and then again right there again. Okay, we just got out of our Neo trade. We'll explain that one as that's bumping to the upside right now. And then right here, Alibaba does make that bottom at 149. So maybe we need to retest it. Normally, I like that blow-up bottom. You see these wicks? I just wasn't watching it. So for me, that's a great indication there that if that does happen, then we'll watch out for that. There goes Neo. So hey, man, we'll go roller coaster ride on Neo today. It's been a great short. Like when these are your shorts and that's your out, we say hell yeah to you, Neo. Thank you so much, and come again as well. But right now, we go Facebook, and this is the one. Spin it. Money, because, I mean, we're $2 now in the money on Facebook, and the day just keeps on getting better and better for me. So, hey, we're going to watch Facebook into the close here. Half hour to go. I don't know. Pretty happy with this position, guys. Let's see where we go from here.
Yeah, I see you in there saying Neil needs that 24 on Virgin Galactic. It is breaking 24.50, but I still want to give this one some room. There is a 24.60 level on Virgin Galactic that I can see. If it breaks that, maybe we'll just go ahead and take the $1.30 or $1.25, whatever we happen to get. But we are getting very close. Lucid's the one that's going to be next for me. I talked about this triple top. This is now fourth time we're testing the high. It's a 23.90 high. I do much prefer $24. Obviously, you guys have been watching the show long enough. I know I'm more likely to take a breakout if this gets to 24. And I could be shorting this, definitely. But with the market this week and a stock like that, I'd just rather be taking the breakout on the one thing that actually showed me any signs of strength. However, I am now looking at Tesla, which is bouncing off. It is bouncing off that 720 level and starting to get going. I mean, if we can hold up and actually make one of those. We've seen this before, right? Like you get that late day rally where even like the last like 10 or 15 minutes, and NASDAQ just decides that it wants to go. That would set up here. If we're testing and have a chance at a 15,000 break and we haven't broken, call it this 724 level on Tesla, and I can hit that, I'll go for it. If we get the chance, I don't necessarily want to overtrade it. I'll stick to what we have on, and I am still looking at Lucid. I think Lucid's the one that's already shown you that level of strength, and I want to stick to something that's shown it to me. If you're thinking the meme stocks and how they've been beaten up, worth noting, volume spike and volume alert on GameStop. That just bounced $6 while the market went up a couple of points here. Probably has more to do with the fact that it was down at 185 and almost down a full 10% than anything else. I would more likely be fading this name if I got a chance at 192, 193. Although, at least a few times in the last month, I've seen like imbalances on GameStop and then it'll run at 350. Those have been pretty decent trades to fade. So I'm now putting a trailing stop on Virgin Galactic. I'm looking to short GameStop at VWAP. That's made sense before. Although it just popped up on volume. I can't ignore that. But that volume immediately tapered off once it got up to 190.
Yeah, what's up, Jude? What's up, Karen, everybody there? Yeah, thank you so much for the love on the Facebook call. And I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes, you got to be lucky to be good, or whatever they say that is. And you can never call. I can never predict, like, hey, man, I mean, if it did, I would have put on like 10,000 shares, right? And then we'd be in the money. Money now 30 grand, but we're not. So there you go. There, I just told you how many shares we don't have, not 10,000 on this trade. But here we go. It's starting to take out new levels, man. And I'm just really proud of myself, actually, for canceling because we were sitting right here, and I talked about it $1 ago. We were debating this, getting out right now, but now you're ripping to these levels where this is where I think we should probably turn around at some point here on Facebook. I mean, look at this. It's just went straight to the upside, dollars, and still trying to move. The NASDAQ's still trying to move as well. So we'll have to find some spots to get out here on a 20-minute chart on Facebook. And again, this is only because we have to be flat. I don't think there's anything wrong with swinging this thing. I don't see anything. 20-minute chart, forget about it. We haven't been to these levels in forever on Facebook. So what we really have to think about now is what kind of profit are we happy with heading into the last half hour of a day where the market's just been getting smoked? Does Facebook still have wings? And right now, this is a $3 winner on FB. We're getting right back to VWAP. I mean, I honestly don't know. I wish there was some sort of an indicator here for me to do this, but we're rocking and rolling right now, and I don't really have a reason to get out. Maybe if we pull back to this level, 350, 360 or something, some of these levels, maybe that's where we'll get out, 350, 365. But right now, we're still rocking and rolling here into the close. The NASDAQ's starting to go. This is a $3 winner. So, hey, welcome to the jungle, guys, where we're slaying dragons left, right, and center, because there goes another one on Facebook for you. And then look at NEO. Not a horrible out, man. We got out at 75. It ripped up to this 34.90 level. So this is from this short. So there's another $2 winner for you right now. But we have $3 right now, man. I'm probably going to get out. Why don't I just use some of this as my outs? 350, 360 or so. We're going to get out. We'll just let it run all the way. And if it fades back in, man, hey, we got to take 250 on this, right?
Yeah, and I just, like I said, I'm going to trail out of Virgin Galactic. It's something to do with half of the day, or half of the show being done, the last hour anyways. And the other half is you getting that momentum up in the market. So yeah, you had to have it out on some of these shorts. CRVS, I think, is a different beast. A couple of pennies more and we'll give up on Foot Locker as well. But you had to hold on to these shorts until you got a reason to get out of them.
Look at this thing.
And then the Lucid is about to take out that high of the day, but it's not the only one. Microvast is also looking to take the break. Now I'm looking at Lucid through that 24 level, which is currently it's almost on the offer here on Lucid. That's Virgin Galactic still. It's not a huge level on Lucid, but there is about 100,000, maybe not even. Yeah, it's not even that big of an, just under, about 100,000 shares on the offer at 24. This is why I preferred a 24 break to 23.90. I know you're going to have seen here that it was a quadruple top at 23.90, but you knew there'd be an offer likely at 24 even, and that's what this stock has to get through. So that's what I'm going to look for here. EDSA is also going. We talked about that one before. It is not broken through its high of the day, so I did try to short off the lower high. Was not giving that one to the high of the day, but yes, this is also looking for a top end break, 1160. Suddenly I have 3 things set up for it. I'm not taking MBST, but EDSA, yeah, that's a go if it can get there in the next 10 to 15 minutes. Lucid's definitely a go. We have that order locked and loaded. So I want a top break of one of the stronger names here today. EDSA looking to be part of the 100% club. Not the kind of day that you'd expect to see a stock up 100%, yet here we are.
No, exactly. Wow. But those names will always be around.
Exactly.
And like Smile Direct, we can check on that as well. That's going to be our trade of the day. And it was just because it's set up properly. But I mean, I would have used maybe Facebook here. So Facebook just touches, just to give you guys an update, I'm going to get out of this soon. Facebook just touches VWAP and turns around. So, I mean, if that's not an indicator right there, I mean, I got to use something. And I talked about that. We were both all about risk management. So if there's not, oh, there it goes. Holy shit. Shoot. Wow, still going up. But I was going to use this bottom here to get out around 353.80. So if that does come through, we'll get out of that. But I mean, now we're at 354.50. I mean, this is a $4 winner here into the close. So we just tweet that out and we're like, wow, let's get going on this one, guys. And we tweeted out when we took it. So this is not just bigging up this trade. It's the market is in rally mode right now. So it's very hard to find some tops. I'm nervous for people possibly looking for a short into tomorrow. This is nice, man. We'll see. It's always nice when the market doesn't close on its bottoms. A nice move back up. We're still down 2 and a bit. So yeah, I want to get out of this eventually, but $4 in the money. Wow. Big move here for FB. It's the only name that I have on, so I'm a little fixated with it, but Brendan will give us another one.
Yeah, ho-hum. 30 handle move there in the S&P, straight to the upside. It's banks as well, guys. Look at JPM here, straight higher, 150.5. The bottom there. We're all the way back to 152 again for JP Morgan. So banks are helping as well.
Jeez, man, this is just like insane here.
Yeah, JP's moving
today.
Healthcare is actually looking pretty solid off the bottom. I just turning into the green territory as far as I already told you guys about DHR. That was looking relatively strong, and you can probably look at like a UNH or something along those lines. I just quickly noticed that my personal fave, Morgan Stanley, and I'm going to apologize in advance for what I'm sure the daily chart would look like. Morgan Stanley down 3.5%. That just bounced up about $1. But look at this level that it's trying to break out from here. This is all afternoon. 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 or 6 times trying to break right through like 28.20 or so. If this one were to run, and again, this is more thinking that if we have one of these rallies, we've seen it before where we have these rallies on down days, and it doesn't have to go green, but you can get some strong buying into it. Yeah, that's a big level. It's trying to chew through 98.25. Like you said, Sean, you are concerned about some people that are looking for places to sell, thinking this might go all week. But this is a strong move in Morgan Stanley that's coming a little bit back. And this is a kind of level that if it doesn't get broken, you just file that one away for tomorrow, 98.20 or so. Somehow Lucid is still not breaking. And you could be scalping this trade to the short side, and normally, if this was if this was like lunchtime or like 11 o'clock or in the morning show, I'd probably be trying to go like 98, 99 short, get out some of that 94, 95, hold some for a bigger move. I'm not even playing those games. I don't like that idea at this late in the day with only 20 minutes to go. So I'm just only looking for the long break in Lucid, which is on the offer at 24 right now.
I'm talking to myself here, and I cannot believe this battle back here in Facebook. So let's go on to something else. I don't have any, my targets are way lower. So at this point, I'm just happy that I was able to hold on to that for sure. And you could see even Apple, if you bought and picked Apple there, 140, 140 or so, you're only up like 80 cents to get it out now. Facebook, we're up $4 right now on this trade. So I'm debating just here, if we crack through here, 354.34, let's get out of Facebook. I mean, there's only so much of this I can handle here, as it's been a great morning for us on Facebook. So 354, let's just call it 24, and we will get out on that one. We'll just put our stop orders in now there. Oops, that's Facebook. Okay, so on Facebook, and we'll watch to see what it does. Just got to cancel my other trigger because my other one was at 353.90. So we'll save a little bit. We'll get out in the quarters here. If it breaks back down below what is my view up, which I don't think is right, all the way here. So we'll get out if it breaks below. So it's getting close right now. That's going to be Facebook. We give up a little bit, but hopefully we don't have to, and it will come back to the upside. But hey, man, 350 right now. We'll take that. I couldn't believe my eyes when it ran up like that. But look at the NASDAQ starting to come back in here. So for me, this is a decent spot to take some profits on something, and that's going to be, for me, Facebook. It's the only position I have. Okay, so Smile Direct. Oh, you know what? Look, I lost data here for some reason, so that was pretty cool.
That was happening last week, by the way.
Yeah, that's pretty hype. Okay, so Smile Direct, we'll talk about this and this one we almost went negative on, but we're not negative on the day on this name either. So, well, we're not negative on any names today. Lucky enough, thank God for that. We're negative in our long-term account, and me and Neil trying to tell you a few names that we're going to buy on the cheap here. But 7 out. As soon as we broke that pre-market level there of 680 and watched the trade of the day after we got out of that, so that was perfect because that's a 90 bid and that's an out at 76 there. So that was good. We only lost 14 cents. Each one of these trades is more than 14 cents. So now Smile Direct back down to 6 and change. There may be a buyer down at $6. So if we can get any lower than that, we will do that. And coming up in just 5 seconds, we'll watch to see there was imbalances and everything on Friday as there was a rebalance. Today, let's just see if there's anything, you know, coming from that. Suncor, we've seen that before. That's a bid here. And again, another beatdown name in the oil patches here in Canada. MFC, BC. Anyways, either way, there's nothing here on the Toronto imbalances.
We got a question here on someone was asking about NEO.
Yeah.
For a potential swing. I think what you're probably getting at, which would make a heck of a lot of sense anyways for me, is looking at this 34.50 that's held, and you have a higher. Here's your risk, because you have an obvious higher low that just got put in on the daily time frame, right? So you're trying to hold, and my 15-minute won't go back that far, but you're bouncing off this 34.5. You've got some support on the daily chart there, but the problem, of course, would be in another gap down, right? So if you can stomach, it may be gapping through that previous support level, and this is when we're talking about going back into August 20th. If it were to gap that level and you're perfectly comfortable holding into like a 30.50, I mean, for long term, that's probably a better look than a short-term trade, and you could gap through that support level, and it's only 50, 60 cents away. So if you're okay sort of getting that cover or that extra slippage, yeah, I mean, you're looking for things to bet on. Also consider the fact that, I mean, Li Auto did update their third quarter delivery look. And that, you know, it did bring them to the downside, which you can look at that two ways. You can look at that as a competitive advantage for NEO. There goes Lucid, just got 24.02 when 24 broke. You can look at that as a competitive advantage for them, or you can look at that as a harbinger for possible negativity in NEO as well, if they have a disappointment in addition to that. So that 24 level did get broken on Lucid. It's not exactly screaming into the upside. I like the fact that volume is at least pretty decent here. It did run away from 24 the first time, so if you did put that scalp trade on idea, like just go short 98.99, that absolutely worked. It gave you the 15 to 20 cents that you would have looked for that style of trade. Now it's taking out the top while the market is still looking pretty strong. Not necessarily going yet, but it's now provided with an obvious breakout level or breakout out. Like I can now look at the bottom of this wick on the retracement the first time and say, as long as we are holding above what looks like 23.77 or 75, I can stick with this trade. Now I'm risking only 25 cents. Depending on the timing here, I'll probably tighten that up as we get to 345 and 350. That's only because as a day trader, I am getting out of this trade no matter what at the end of the day. So there is that aspect of tightening your stop and adjusting your targets the closer we get to 4 o'clock. But Lucid looking like it wants to continue this crazy rally that it's had, quite frankly. It's been one of the strongest stocks. I know only up 5%, but like everything else, this had gapped down in the morning, right? Like it's not like, the stock, I think it gapped down at least like 4 or 5% and then is rallying up 4.5%.
Okay, Facebook is now at $3.55 and change. This is now a $4 winner on board. And again, I was like debating taking that out just now on those breaks, and we didn't have that. So now you're only down 2 and a bit percent. I really want to hold this to $3.50, but you guys know, well, maybe you don't know, but the imbalances come out at $3.50, right? So if it's a negative imbalance on the NASDAQ, then we are going to be in trouble here. So I'm going to, again, I was going to say if I use the 355 break, I'm going to get out of that real soon. But what about right here, 364.65? So if we break anywhere back down below here, sure, we're going to give up 30 or 40 cents on the high side or 70 cents, but willing to take this out right around here, 354.64. So we're going to have to fix our Facebook scripts, but that's a big move here, $4 in the money. We'll take that into the close. What about AMD? A nice bounce as well. Oh, Palantir. Palantir still... Yeah, did it not bounce there? I don't know. Let me see how low Palantir went. We love a 26 level. That's for damn sure. If Palantir cracked 26 today and I missed it, I'll be upset a little bit about that. But yeah, okay. See, so it does whatever, I'm not going to be upset, whatever, I can't do anything about it. But Palantir does, that 26 level has been pretty cash money on Palantir, and I'll show you why. Here's a 20-minute chart again. This goes back to last week when we crashed right here to 25.50. It bounced off 25, then we held this 26 there. This is the 14th. So again, a nice move back up. We held it there. Then we held it the very next morning as well, 26.17. Now you're getting an opportunity to buy that one more time. So tomorrow, Palantir, if you ever get sort of a pissy market in the morning time, I do want to watch this 25 area, especially 26 if Palantir can come back into there. So, looking at it, there's 25 again. So 25, 25, and then 26, 26. So, back into that level. I like that for Palantir. So missed opportunity today on that, and we don't have any trades on Palantir today, but we're going to finish the day at our highest spot. Lucid trying to take out that 24 right now. Clover, oh man, talk about another name that we were pretty happy with holding, and you guys know I actually have a play on right now for options. Maybe I have to average into that one. I'm not going to do it. But Clover right now to the downside and looking like garbage as we are basically at $6.31 is its 52-week low here on Clover, but they're down and out right now. And if you want to buy something, we talked about Wish as well being on people's radars. Where's Clover? Here it is for the daily chart. This is another name that if you ever wanted something that had the potential, that's the only reason I'm holding it, is for the potential for this to go back up. But yeah, you are getting just woodshedded right now. Down to 740. I mean, the ultimate low on this one's going to be 630. I don't know. If you like the healthcare space, do some due diligence, but Clover right now is pretty damn low, like some of these other recent names, Open Door, Clover, some Chamos, SPACs, things like that are very, very low now. Fisker, Lucid's the only one that's really popping up.
Yeah, and speaking of, Lucid's basically going sideways, but not going sideways is that EDSA, which just made a crazy wick top up there, and immediately reversing off that. And anytime I see that kind of reversal, that's usually a short entry for me. This is tight to the close, candidly speaking. We have like 3 or 4 minutes till those imbalances come out. However, EDSA is not a stock that I think would be affected by imbalances, so I kind of can put this consolidation short on and feel relatively comfortable that nothing is going to change in the next 3 minutes. So I did reverse into the short side of the trade. Anytime I get a failed breakout that reverses like that going into the close, there is room here. It wouldn't even have to go into VWAP, and you're talking about $1.50, like $1.50 or so, just in the recent support. I think it could easily get down to like a 1080 level, so I just popped into that trade. ATER, if you guys are tracking that came all the way back in, but is trying to catch a bit of a bid. I think this could be one to watch for tomorrow's action. ATER's on the NASDAQ, of course. ATER, come on, low, give it to me. There you go. It's a bit of a volume spike going into if it breaks 12 even, I should say, you skip right to the punch. If it breaks 12 even, I like this one to take a shot off this level, certainly coming into tomorrow's action. I don't think we're going to get the juice on our good friend Lucid as that is pulling back. I suppose if you just short it, and I stuck to the idea of usually shorting tops, but I like the fact the market was rallying here. It's still holding up that higher low. But as I said, the closer we get to the end of the day, I will have to tighten the stop up. Like if it's not gonna give me as much opportunity time-wise to break out through the high and extend, well then I don't want to give it all the way back to that 3/4 mark. So for now, it's holding up only about 10 cents out of the money at the absolute worst, but I will tighten my stop to that 10 cents once we get to 350, just because that's how I like to approach trades when we are running out of time. EDSA flat on the short, CRVS at about 5 cents or so. But each of these 3 positions I have to make a decision on as we are getting to 350, running out of time for them to run.
I was going to say Facebook ain't no friend of mine, but it really has been. But it does tick down to that level there, and we did get out, man, 350, 460. So and now you're starting to rip to the high side. And just like Neil said, and just like I said there too, is that we are not nervous, but I don't want those imbalances to come out in approximately, what are we here, 2 minutes to be sell side. And then you're going to see, I'll keep it on here. I don't care. We'll keep it on here just so you guys can see the damage that's going to be done if it comes out the wrong way. Not the wrong way. I don't know which way it's going to come, but if it comes out as a sell, damn it, this is $1 I just gave up. So yeah, I'm going to do this, although I'm pretty happy with a $4 winner in the late day. But there it goes right to the upside. We throw out 50 cents or about $1 worth of winners there. So sorry about that, but sorry, not sorry, really. It was a big, big day here, and I'm very, very happy with the trading on the day. So I can't really complain about it, but that is a mistake there for me anyways. Not a mistake, it looks like it might be. We're gonna watch for another bit as well. We just covered our NEO. I mean, that's looking like a pretty good trade for us as we shorted early on. And again, this was all on the sticky sticky note, right? We did talk about why we like this and why the sticky note was something that we're trying to follow. And there goes NEO right now. A nice move, man. We covered it right there. That was a good out for us back on that trade. Roku down 3% today. We talked about Palantir a little bit. Apple trying to battle back as well. So as we're going here, man, into the close, there's lots of names to watch. It's only 40 seconds left, and then we'll have those imbalances come out for you. But right now, NEO, everything looking strong here into the close. NVIDIA maybe onto something as well. But yeah, so far so good today. I'm pretty happy with some of the trading here.
Just looking at like the early look for some of the imbalances, like two of the worst ones, well, two of the biggest, and possibly could end up being the U.S. Steel and CLF are both looking like they could come out as big sell imbalances from an early look. And U.S. Steel has not, I mean, it hasn't really bounced much, but if this move were to extend, I thought this was coming back down to that 20 level, which we liked. Clearly that has not come in, so I don't think there's an opportunity just yet to buy it. But if this has a sell imbalance and extends its move even after the bit of a bounce, we have talked about the lack of I guess progress when it comes to infrastructure bill not getting pared down. And that is a secondary thing weighing on some of these names, especially like the U.S. Steel. So I'll be watching this one to see any continued weakness. As I mentioned, I did reverse.
Oh man, Apple came out as a buy.
Apple came a buy?
Yeah, pretty big one. 1.7 million shares, which is a monster there. Look at the NASDAQ starting to go up. Yeah, because, I mean, it's great, man. I mean, I'm happy. I own all of these stocks. But that's going to look like a bad out here. I don't even want to go to the Facebook right now as you're up to 356 and still ripping. So there you go, man. A lot of buys. We sort of smelt that out there in the NASDAQ because of this move that it was having. But I just thought the risk was to the short there. Was to the long if you had it, as it could have just came out. But you could see Apple there flushing to the bid side. I mean, everybody knows that Apple's a buy down here. It's just a matter of who's going to pull the trigger first. Looks like people buying into the close. Woo. Oh, talk about context logic. I was talking about that possibly for a swing. Hey, guys, right here. Look, a bid in context logic coming in at the end of the day. Take that for what it's worth, but it's there. What's up, Brendo?
Not much in the way of earnings for today, guys, but this one, however, does report Lennar aftermarket tonight, also making a nice move into the close here.
Lennar, yeah, home builders. Home builders very, very strong. We talked about that DR Horton as well. Lennar going to be coming through, and I guess the rest of them later on this week. But watch out for that one. It's going to be probably a decent report as they can't keep. I mean, this is the first time I believe, not the first time, but the first time in a long time that housing demand is, the builders can't keep up with the demand from the buyers. So that's going to be a good one. Let's see what happens with Lennar. Maybe it's too high, though, but watch out for that value.
Yeah, maybe it is. We'll see. I mean, like I said, 350 would come and the decision would have to get made. So it was only about 10 cents in the money when Lucid, when the imbalances came out. So I did take some off to trim it at 24.10. And there's really not much you can do about it here. I also trimmed essentially flat on CRVS because it just wasn't going. I'll hang on to EDSA because that could really flush. And look, that stock I think has like 50-cent type moves, $1 type moves in it, and we're only out of the money about 10 cents with a big offer at 11.35. But Lucid, I want to give a little bit of a run here, guys. That imbalance locator, outside of Apple to the buy side, Ford was a sell. There's really not a heck of a lot of interest there. So stick to the movers that are going in the overall market, which is, I'd say, a victory, the fact that we're getting close to that 15,000 on the NASDAQ, which is getting real close here, only about 40 points away.
I was going to say Ford. Ford really took it on the chin today, which is kind of, it's okay. I mean, we just bought some on Friday. Was it? No, it wasn't Friday. It was Thursday, I think. And we talked about that when it took out, and it was just an order that I had in there. Oh yeah, it sucks to do this. When we took out this VWAP there, it literally went up to like 1360. We actually got long at 1330, so we're holding the bag on that position. But that's in the RRSP account and or 401k. Is basically your retirement account here in Canada. So just so you guys understand what we're talking about. But I like Ford here, man. I think you got to buy Ford right now, 1280, 1281. This is at a perfect spot. I wish I would have bought it here, but now we have to pay down 5% for it today if you want that. But that's a good move there for Ford, and I think you could do that. The only problem is I'm very, very hesitant to pull the trigger on anything. I recently sold. I have to be careful because we've been talking with compliance. We can't say we that much because we're not team trading.
It's a figure of speech.
I know. Yeah. That's why I say that we have to be careful with it. But anyways, I sold some DraftKings up here at 62. We talked about why. Now today's down to 56. I just don't think it's time yet to be stepping into buying anything unless you're trying to dip in. I'm waiting for a little bit lower on some of these names to come through. I don't think the damage is done yet. Remember September, we've already beat down the September records. It's on average only down 0.8.
We're down like
we're down like 5% right now. What's up, Bren?
This market never ceases to amaze, guys. You remember this ARQQ from last week? So overall, the market down 3% or whatever we are right now. But look at this thing. About to break the 40% mark for the day, straight to the upside into the close here for ARQQ.
ARQQ, that's another blast from the past. And by the past, I mean literally last week. But I'm going to have to go ahead and take this out. So a little fist bump on that Lucid. I wanted a top break for a strong stock, and this is the one that came in. It didn't really give you much of a move, but it's 354, got to be flat at the end of the day. I'm still trying to see if EDSA, like anytime you get a wipeout, failed breakout through the top, and then you're consolidating. I love these short entries, but the problem is there's not enough time for this to be able to run. It's trying to break through 11 even. I think if it gets through 11, I can maybe sneak some out here. Here we go, come on. I don't have a choice. The second it broke 11, level 2 going to be up here? Yeah, of course it's still on Lucid. The second it broke 11, someone decided to bid it right back up. So unfortunately, EDSA looks like it might not go any more than 10, 15 pennies in the money here. Yeah, a buyer just stepped in. Even at like 10.95, there's a buyer. I might have to think about trimming this one. It's 355. I do have some time to go, but I might not get any better than that out that we were able to just get right before it just popped back into the upside. So I'm going to tighten things up, maybe give it to like not that 11.35 anymore, maybe like 11 and a quarter. We're short at 11.17. With only one stock that I'm focused on, one that does feel like after that wipeout top, it really could flush. I do want to try to give it to like 58, 59 as long as absolutely possible, but it is starting to pull back in. Looks like it was the good out in Lucid. 24.20 was the high, and it's already pulled right back into 24 even.
All right, so yeah, I just realized when Neil was mentioning that to me that I didn't have New York showing up there, so there was a filter there, I guess, and I've unchecked said filter. So JXN, SNR, Merck is on there as well with a big sell to the Merck sell, yeah, there it is, sell to the downside, but you can see it's just saying hold my beer to that sell as we continue to go up. Another name that we trade often on the show and just not today, SoFi. So if you want to look at that, so far not so good for SoFi as it looks like it's going to continue to be in trouble here on the downside as, down another 3.5%. Just another name that I think you could pick up for some value, but I just don't know if it's time yet to do said value pickups here. I mean, obviously this is going to be a growth trade for SoFi, but I just wonder if this is in the right spot now that you can start to pick some up. I'm still long this name like 1890. I did not average in to that as well. My other, I don't want to say my baby because I don't have as much in it as maybe people think I do or whatever, but PaySafe, I really like that name. I bought some more today, nibbled a little bit here on these bottoms, so we'll wait to see what happens with PaySafe. Again, it's in the fintech spot there. I like everything they're doing. Just very, very surprised at how far back down we are. And I would love to show you a daily chart, but both of my charts, both my 15 minutes and my daily, continue to crash on me. So, I can't do too much love on that one. Yeah, like even
wow,
right now,
Dutch Brothers, 50 back to 52. Well, okay, temporarily back to 52. It's already retracing to 51 even. That's a big, strong move. Let's try to keep in mind here, it's only traded a couple of days, and it did not get through what. This is not the all-time high, the 52. It did get up to 54.50, but anyone that was watching the opening on Friday, you know exactly what happened here. When it spent almost no time between 52 and 54.5. Like this was like whipsaw action, where it was just getting slammed back to the downside. Enough to stop people out, I know, because I was one of them. But this is a monster level at 52, and not much we can do about it here. There's only 2 minutes left to go. So there's really not much I can do about this 52 level except hope and pray that we can catch and use this level tomorrow morning, either as resistance for a short, but probably more likely for a breakout long potential on Dutch Brothers. After having said all that, I'm sure at this point now, at 4 o'clock, this stock is going to break 42 and then make a run.
After all that, come on, be more positive.
That's what they always do.
Yeah, I know, you're right.
When you like a level for a breakout tomorrow based on what happens here in Power Hour, it always breaks at 4 o'clock and then we can't trade it.
Yep, you probably are right about that. Okay, so yeah, we're not doing too much now. We're just waiting to see where we go. PaySafe's still at that level. Our Facebook was 356 right now, but that was look. I'll hold my put my hat on that anyways any day here as that's still PaySafe. That was a good trade regardless of where I got out. I'm pretty happy that we were able to take that for you guys to the high side there, and also cover our NIO. But stay tuned, guys. Yeah, that was a good cover too. Our trade of the day is going to be on Smile Direct. We only have a minute and a half to go, and we could quickly check on some of those imbalances for you. Remember, Neil and I not holding anything overnight. I do think that there's a good opportunity to swing some stocks here, like a Facebook, against that 350. So that's something that I would do as well. And then other than that, though, there's not too much else, unless you thought tomorrow's market was just going to be a banger to the upside. I also like AMD at its current levels, but only with a minute to go. We're looking here, and I'm not seeing a whole hell of a lot. Apple's obviously paired off.
And I hate myself.
But the NASDAQ just keeps on ripping. Go ahead.
I'm going to kick myself over Caesars today because that was
the level you wanted.
That's what we wanted. It's like it kind of gave you that in the pre-market if you had the faith. It's now at 105, so this one has clearly gotten away from me. But if the market continues down, this is one that I would buy if the market continued on weakness. So everything is not done just yet. There's not much. Like this is, like I said, this is a moral victory. We're not going to get green on the day, but I will point this one out. Like for us to get back to 15,000 on the NASDAQ, which we are seconds away from holding into the close,
this is
and
great.
I'm going to give at least some of the credit to Miss V, who besides doing a great job on their show this morning, is wearing the green with the plaid. So hey, we're back, only down 2%. We'll drop the countdown here. It's been a rough Monday for the market, but hey, there had been opportunities, and we are back above that 15,000. So a bit of buying comes into the close. I probably jinxed it now. 3, 2, and 1. Oh yeah, it's over.
There it is, Apple closing at 143. Facebook finally getting that closing print at about 356, 355, something like that. A nice battle back in the market there, Brendan.
Yeah, pretty impressive, guys. We didn't, as you mentioned, get back to positive. I was just checking on the NASDAQ. Yeah, 2.16. The S&P 1.76. I apologize, the quote board is broken, but we're working on it. So tomorrow, hopefully, we'll have that back. But yeah, negative, guys. Crypto's, I think, the worst off so far today.
Yeah, crypto's been a little bit of a problem today as
bounce.
Ethereum. It's actually been pretty strong, well, pretty steady, holding around that 3,000 for Ethereum and then 44,000 or so for Bitcoin.
Yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, it has been rough overall for the markets, but there's some things to look forward to. I think the way that day ended, there's certainly some buying opportunities that are on the horizons, and early condolences for Detroit Lions fans.
Yeah, hopefully that is correct. Look, man, it's been a great day. Yeah, you're welcome, Jonathan. I mean, this is what we're talking about here. Turned a red day into a green day with that Facebook trade. I mean, that's great. That's exactly what we're talking about. Thank you also for Pankaj becoming a member. Thank you so much for that, and make sure all my scripts are canceled, which they are. Thank you so much for a great show today. I want to thank Trader Pratt and Ms. V for once again holding it down on our Memes and Movers show. We are changing, I don't know if it's starting tomorrow, Maggie, we're changing the cover for the Memes and Movers, so you may not see that.
Cover? Thumbnail.
Thumbnail, is that what it's called?
I know what you meant, but.
I mean, I don't know. We're changing the thumbnail tomorrow, so if it comes up a little bit different, you'll see it.
It's like an album.
Same as ours now, but it will say midday on it.
Yes.
Pretty creative.
Pratt jokes about having an album all the time, so the cover makes sense.
That's why, yeah, exactly. So Pratt will be rapping on said cover as well, spitting those mean bars over there. But thank you guys for everything. Thank you to Maggie. Thank you for Lucas. Still short-staffed here as we'll wait for Robbie to come back. Hopefully back on Wednesday, we feel like. So he'll be back on Wednesday. Thank you for everybody one more time. Thank you to Brendan. I mean, how many good stories did he come with today once again? So
he's still working.
In a market like this, you can't have enough information.
That was impressive, man.
Pardon, Brendo?
That was impressive, that bounce.
Yeah, we had a big bounce at the end of the day. NASDAQ only down 2%, which is quite incredible. So we're really happy with that. Trade of the day is on deck. Watch it, and we'll catch you tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao.
Bye-bye, guys.